Hey guys, I got the chance to go see Sinister 2 early this week, and it was maybe scary. I don't know. That doesn't make any sense for an intro. Hey! Sinister 2 is the follow-up to Sinister 1. Surprise! Sinister 1 starred Ethan Hawke, and it was the story of him and his family and his kid and their interaction with a creature called Bagul, which for all intents and purposes is the boogeyman. I personally really like Sinister 1. I'm a really big fan of horror movies, and I thought that what Scott Derrickson did in the script with Cargill and then in the directing of the movie was really smart. It was ultimately a movie about a guy who was trying to pick between his family and his job, and the horror supernatural aspect kind of came second to that. Overall, I found it a really enjoyable experience and really creepy in the right ways. So I was actually kind of excited about Sinister 2. Scott Derrickson, surprise, he did a good job. He is now doing Doctor Strange for Marvel, and so he was too busy to make this movie. So they got Kieran Foy, and Kieran Foy is a director from Ireland whose movie Citadel I actually love way more than any Sinister movie. So I was really excited about that. And then Derrickson and Cargill wrote the script. The creative team behind it was still the same, and so I was really excited to see how they would take it because I didn't think that they would just kind of make the same movie over. And they didn't. They took a completely different angle on the same story. Unfortunately, that's exactly what didn't work for me. The reason that I liked Sinister 1 was because of the amount of suspense and mystery that was involved in the process of finding out what was actually going on with the murders and then tracing how that would affect Ethan Hawke and his family. Because we already know the mythology, I understand why Kieran, Scott, and Cargill decided to look at it from a different angle, but that angle that they chose without any spoilers kind of ruins a lot of the mystery, and because of that, it takes away a lot of the tension that's necessary for the horror to be scary. And so while there's a couple of really nice sequences with some jump scares, there's not sort of that looming unease that the first one had. They did a really good job at creating a really interesting character for Shannon Sossamon. And you know, she's an abuse victim, and she's got these two twin kids, and she's a little bit on the run, and she does a really great job. The performances overall are really good. They promoted the deputy from the first one into the lead character. For him to carry the whole movie, the character became a little goofy and a little bit unrealistic, and it really kind of bothered me most of the time, especially with Shannon doing such a solid job on the other end. While there's some nice sequences and there's some decent writing and some good scenes, overall, it just kind of fell flat. It's not particularly scary. It's not particularly elevated. It's not particularly beautifully shot. The VFX are kind of shoddy, and so it gives it but not in that, like, not in the way they were in the first one where everything had sort of a vintage feel. This just kind of looked like cheap VFX that made it look like a bad bargain, like Target bargain B movie. If that was a budgetary issue, there were ways that those things could have been tackled, I think, in camera and practically, that would have done a better job at providing what they needed than the effects that they threw in that I think took you out of the story. Citadel is such a strong piece that I think Kieran Foy had the right idea, and I understand where they went with the writing. Like, I know why. Like, if you watch this movie, you can see, like, oh, the first movie looked at this story from angle A, and so doing angle A again would be so boring, and so clearly let's do angle B because it's so interesting. And it just wasn't. One of the strongest parts of Sinister 1 was the videotapes that the previous children had made for the Bagul, in which they killed their families. In this one, those videotapes got stepped up a little bit in terms of the kinds of really gory deaths the kids put their families through, and those were extremely well done and really disturbing to watch. But they're not the story. It was fine. I think, and that's what's so disappointing. It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't great. It was fine. I give him props for taking an interesting angle on the mythology, and I give him props for a lot of the scenes they created. But overall, I'd say wait for it on DVD or Netflix. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Subscribe to CineFix for more awesome movie content. If you want to see me talk to the actors and the director about really weird, totally unrelated things, click here because I did that.